I talked, poured my heart out, boom, gone. The words are gone. It's hard to repeat something like that. But on the subject of wild dogs and lights out, first off, when I get done with this, and the wild dog issue is what made me think of this, the online book, We Interrupt This Program, is very good also. It deals with a group of people. It deals with, it involves a sheriff, the local sheriff. It involves communication, group of people, sheriff, communication, wild dogs. So, and all the other issues involved with surviving as a community. So, I may read that. You know, I think it's only a couple hundred pages. Look it up, read it online, but I may go ahead and read that one. I am going to assume that the trilogy is been done online 1 second after, and then 1 year after, and then I believe 10 years after, something like that. Anyway, look it up. That's a very good book also. Books, plural. Okay, and then someday maybe I'll write my trilogy. Har, har, har. Like I'll ever get around to that. I should. But anyway, wild animals. Dogs, mountain lions, feral hogs, bears, wolves, coy wolves. No, I'm not joking. This was told to me by a local farmer who, a friend of his, a sheep was killed, and the state guy came out, wanted to come out, he reported it, and the state representative came out and examined the area and wanted to know, and he verified that it was not coy wolves. He said, we want to know if they get into our area. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? And he says, well, the northern wolves, like the Canadian wolves, are interbreeding with coyotes. So, another weird thing to be aware of. But wild dog packs, any wild animal, if you're going to be trekking on foot, bicycle, whatever, you just got to be aware of your surroundings. You've got to have a big enough group to, handle something like this. Another thing that I want to constantly point out is that, to have a large enough group to where you have somebody with a veterinarian, and somebody that has any kind of medical training, a dentist. So somebody that has some medical training to be able to begin to handle wounds like a wild dog attack. Very, very important. You got to have a large enough group of people, period, end of story. So you need to have a big enough region to prevent a lot of things from happening, from coming in from outside. So again, as things play out, it's going to become brutally and tragically, fatally, honestly real. Fatal reality is going to get brutally fatal, put it that way. The message that I've been trying to put out for many years is we need to have a large enough group. We need to have a large enough area, and having 5 people per square mile, as in Wyoming, is not going to cut it. Yes, Wyoming is the most heavily armed state in the country. Look, there's a website or an article that's been done, the 50 the states by ranking, the most heavily armed states, and Wyoming is at the top, no question, bar none. Oddly enough, Washington D.C. they rate it as a state, and it's one of the second or third most heavily armed regions of the country. Go figure. Where the lawmakers, the Congress and Senate don't want you to have arms. Yeah, go figure that one. But anyway, Arizona was one of the top. Arkansas rather, Arkansas. Some of those like Alabama, Georgia was one of the others. West Virginia, I think, was up there. Anyway, not relevant to here, but wild animals, feral hogs, again, wolves, bears, whatever. Things that pack up are going to be some of the most problematic in a post, situation. So, and of course, more than anything, are going to be the two-footed predators. They will take out more than all these wild animals, so it's not that big of a deal in the sense of numerically, the number of issues that are going to happen. But wild animals are a problem. I did a short video, do your own research, read some articles on it, at least be aware of it, the wild dog facts. I will say this from experience, hardcore experience from, living on a farm. If you have 3 dogs, you have a pack. Fact. Okay? And if you have 3 dogs and you don't take care of them, if you don't feed them right, they're going to go out and hunt. And you're probably going to lose a couple of them because the neighbors are going to shoot them. And the rule is shoot, shovel, and shut up. Your dogs will die. And if you have sheep and the neighbor's dog kills it, you have the right to kill that dog. The sheriff, in one situation, a friend of mine, her neighbor's dog killed her goats. That was going to be her milk for the winter for her children. And the sheriff says, either you kill the dog, if you can't kill it, let me know, I'll come kill it. So, fact. It's not something you put up with in farm country. Dead animals, dead livestock, Dog, too bad, sorry. I know a guy who, his neighbor's dog killed like an emu and a sheep and a hen or something, a goose, something like that, whatever, doesn't make any difference, turkey. And he killed them all. He killed the neighbor's dogs, and then he knocked on the guy's door and said, I killed your dogs, you owe me $600. Okay, period. So this is not playtime, it's not funny, it's not warm, fuzzy, gee, cute dogs. Your dog might be the sweetest thing, and it may roll over and have you scratch its tummy and scratch it behind the ears and all that stuff and play with your kids. But it can pack up with another dog and be the decoy or be the big main killer dog and come back and be just as nice and friendly as it was the day before. That's what they do. Dogs pack up, and when they pack, their whole temperament changes 100%. So, and they can go out and pack up and come right back and be your nice pet pooch. You may not know that your little dachshund is the decoy to have had somebody get killed. So that's just the way it is. Deal with it. Deal with reality. And that's what I like about books like this, is because they get you to think about, reality in the sense of this is the brutal reality of conditions that will obtain in a shit hits the fan, post-Toastie, post-Toastie scenario. In the We Interrupt This Program book, they actually get together. They have a large enough group that they go out on a dog hunt, wild dog hunt. They have radios, they're organized, they beat the bushes through, and blocking, and like pheasant hunting and like wild animal hunting in India, Africa, or whatever, beating the bushes with blockers on the other end, and bam, 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 kill. They killed like 200 dogs, I think. Because of that situation, they were ready for when there was a human predator. They were able to respond quickly. They had radio communication. They knew what they were doing, and they were able to stop whatever problem it was that came up. And the sheriff was very impressed, and he said, how did you manage this, And they said, well, we had experience. We went after some dogs. Grandpa had the dogs' pelts up on the wall of the barn, a couple hundred of them or whatever, to make mittens and boots and shoes and whatever for kids, coats for children for the winter. So there you go. Just a few things to think about there. Not something funny, not something simple. When you're talking anything that packs up, that runs in packs, sounders, the word sounder is the word for feral hog groups. These things they can get huge. A 14-year-old kid tracked one in Alabama with a handgun. I mean, I don't know. Shot at and chased this thing supposedly for 3 hours. 1,500 pounds. Okay, now they typically, 100, 200, 300, 400 pounds, but 1,500 pounds is a big pig. So if it comes at you, it can go through anything. A lightning hit at my friend's farm, just a normal size whatever, a big hog, and it left a cartoon-like hole in the wooden fence. I mean, it blasted through the fence, busted a heavy wooden fence, and left its imprint in the fence. It hit it so fast and so hard. Wild animals are not something to mess with. So, not even going to go into weaponry, you know. Double-aught buck, yeah, that'll fold up dogs pretty good. Peter Hathaway Capstick talks a lot about what type of things to use on animals, and for lions and leopards. Double-aught buck is very good for thin-skinned animals. Never for, you know, like a hog. No, a cat, dog. Yeah, double-aught buck would probably be pretty good. Anyway, just you know, trying to think things through ahead of time is what I've been doing for all these years. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, sitting here right now in this farmhouse, this fantasy, whatever, situation, because I fantasized about this stuff. You know, Lights Out, The Last Babylon by Pat Frank, set in Florida. That was a nuclear situation. I, Martha Adams, post-nuclear Russian invasion situation. Blakely's Ark, a disease. Maleville in France, a nuclear situation. Lucifer's Hammer, a comet calving and hitting the Earth. Discovered by Tim Hamner. They started calling it the Hammer, and then Lucifer's Hammer. One of the best books ever, Post-Toastie book. I always called it the quintessential Post-Toastie book until Lights Out came along. So Lights Out, because of its practicality, I've said that before, Lights Out is to me the best book you could read in this genre. So I've read a lot of those books, and that was the thing that got me to the point where, realistically, that, you know, it's just not sensible and not practical to think that you're going to stay in the city and someday be able to magically, poofy presto, just like in all the stories, nothing's going to go wrong, or nothing drastically major is going to go wrong, to where you're not going to lose 3 out of your 5 children, and, you know, your wife get killed by something and raped and eaten and pillaged by wild animals or MZBs or whatever. It's just, I knew it wasn't. The odds are not in your favor, and the odds are never going to be in your favor if you think you're going to stay in the city until the last minute and get out. It's not going to happen. 99% of people who do that are going to die. You know, whatever. I mean, that's just a figure I pulled out of the air, sure. 80%, easily 80%. You know, the tower's going to fall, and it's going to fall on the just and the unjust. So if that's your game plan, to stay in the cities and suck down Babylon's riches and wealth and drink her wine and be enamored with the TV and all of the other niceties and fizits and soffits and poffits and entertainment that goes with living in a city, you're going to pay the price of doing that. So it's not going to last. Their day will come when the tower falls, and 90% of people that want to hang out in the city because they have a job, because they have retirement, because they have whatever the hell it is they have, they think it's worth it. You know, like I said, one lady wrote me and said, man, I used to live in the Ozarks. It was so nice. Now I live and people are so horrible, and it's so evil and so nasty and so dangerous. And I'm like, so what is it worth living in a place that's not worth living? What is it that's you feel it's worth living there for? And living a life that's not even worth living. You know, what's the point of it? So get out. Get out now. Get out soon. Get out, you know, really soon. So that's my message. I'll wrap it up. So, you know, wild animals, they don't die easy. People don't die easy either, but, you know, wild animals are exceptionally tough. I know. I tried to kill some of them, and put two rifle rounds through both lungs of a deer, and it could have killed me after doing that. So Very scary, very close. Actually, it was so intense that I wasn't really scared. I didn't know what was going on. It was so fast and so brutal. Yeah, 2 rifle rounds. Can you take 2 rifle rounds in and out of both lungs and try to kill somebody? Probably not. Probably be in shock. But yeah, wild animals can do a hellacious amount of damage even though they have mortal wounds. So, all right, enough said. All right, this is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you are the remnant. Hope somebody's listening. I really do. You know. I wish I had more feedback. I wish I had more listeners. I wish I had more, somebody helping. And I don't know. Like, what's the point, I don't know. I'm trying, I'm putting information out there. Feeling kind of, what's the point type thing. So, I don't know. Sorry about that. A little maudlin, just tired and like usual. But all right, holler at me if you have any questions. Quite a few people are heading here, I know, and it's going to be a trip come spring and summer with the amount of people coming here and needing to get ready before winter. If it's going to be a 6 times more brutal winter than we had last winter. Katie by the door. So, all right, see ya. This is Jerry Diamond. Thank you.